Tonight, businesses reopen in Broken Hill as New South Wales celebrates Freedom Day, while another truck driver passing through Port Augusta tested positive to COVID.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. It's been a long 2 months of lockdown for Broken Hill, but today it was Freedom Day for the fully vaccinated. The CBD coming back to life with businesses and locals taking a major leap towards COVID normal.
Packed streets, beers in hands and tables indoors. Simple pleasures as Broken Hill wakes from its spring shutdown.
Oh my God, the street is actually busy and that's so nice to see rather than just it's dead.
Freedom Day marking the end of what should be the final lockdown for New South Wales.
You've earned it, enjoy it, it's a great day, it's a day we should all be pleased at arriving at.
And that's what locals did, hitting the streets and reuniting with friends. Businesses reopening for the first time since mid-August. Hospitality venues welcoming back diners. The first stage of living with COVID only available to those who are fully vaccinated.
So far everybody's been pretty good and they've all come in with everything they need. So I think with the marketing around the vaccinations that everybody's certainly knows what to expect.
Broken Hill's vaccination rates continuing to exceed the state average. Almost 94% of over 16s have had at least one dose. 77% are fully vaccinated. With rates that high, businesses say anti-vaxxers aren't a major concern.
You sanitise, you QR in, but now you're asking for vaccination passports, which, look, rules are rules, we do what we've got to do to keep our doors open.
That process still needs refining, locals having to produce paper evidence or use the Medicare app. Proof of vaccination won't be integrated into the Service New South Wales app until at least next week.
My understanding from the Customer Service Minister is there's been some challenges in obtaining some of that data from the federal government.
Broken Hill starting this new chapter on a positive note with no new cases for the 4th straight day. The Premier says reopening will mean an increase in cases and hospitalisations, but the health system will cope. Freedom Day just the start of a long road to recovery.
People can call it whatever day they want to call it. I just think it's a great day for the people of our state based on the efforts and sacrifices that everyone's made.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
And while the Silver City reopens, state borders remain closed. But locals may be able to travel overseas in a matter of weeks. It's a relief for long-suffering travel agents and families who've been separated since the pandemic began. Back to our Broken Hill reporter Lachlan Itter with more.
There are reports international travel to and from New South Wales could begin as soon as the 1st of November.
That would mean home quarantine for vaccinated Australians wishing to return home via Sydney and giving the option for international travel for vaccinated Australians to leave and to return.
It's a light at the end of the tunnel for travel agents after 2 years with minimal bookings.
Even if it does open in November, I think if we get anybody, it'll be someone that wants to go visit family for Christmas.
But the reopening of domestic borders still seen as more important.
I think that will help a lot of people more than the international initially. Despite a national cabinet agreement, jurisdictions are still playing by their own rules. Victoria, Tasmania and South Australia are basing their reopening on vaccination rates, though with no confirmed dates. The ACT could open in late November. Queensland and the Northern Territory haven't set any threshold for reopening, and WA is expected to remain closed until at least February, even tightening restrictions with spots that open to others with COVID. Broken Hill has been removed from the Victorian border bubble. The Department of Health didn't respond to our questions as to whether our city would be re-added.
Meanwhile, SA Health has updated the risk level of an identified COVID exposure site in Port Augusta. Contact tracers linked the Port Augusta OTR to a COVID-positive truck driver on Saturday, with a man's co-driver also now testing positive. Anyone who visited the service station on Thursday, September 30 between 10 a.m. and 11:45 a.m. and Friday, October 8 from 11 p.m. to October 9, 12:30 a.m. should immediately quarantine. SA Health says the men didn't use QR codes to check in at the locations they visited, making the tracing process frustrating. To today's other news now. Wireless Steelworks operator GFG Alliance has secured a restructuring deal with Credit Suisse. It comes following the collapse of Greensill Capital earlier this year, which put the future of the facility in jeopardy.
A much-needed sigh of relief for those employed at the Wireless Steelworks. Owner GFG Alliance agreeing to a debt restructuring deal with Credit Suisse.
This is a really great day for Whyalla, and it's really good to hear the refinancing has been secured. So Mr Gupta's announcement is very welcomed for the city of Whyalla.
The deal meaning the company would make a substantial upfront payment back to creditors. Off the back of Liberty Primary Metals Australia's strong performance, with over $2.5 billion in revenue recorded last financial year. Whyalla's mayor says she's very happy with the announcement.
It has been a testament to the Whyalla community, that their patience. It's also been a fantastic effort from everyone that works out at GFG. The hard work that they've put in has paid off.
The balance will be paid in instalments to Credit Suisse up to March 2023. Energy and Mining Minister Dan Van Hulst Pelican says the state government is pleased with the deal.
We've been side by side with them every step of the way, and we're very pleased that they've made this public announcement today.
While the member for Giles says it's a step in the right direction.
What we need is the investment dollars to modernise the steel work so that we can produce steel in Whyalla for generations to come.
In a statement, Chairman Sanjeev Gupta thanked employees and the local community for their patience. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, an elderly Cleve man missing for more than a week found safe and well, and a Port Pirie man arrested after allegedly stabbing another local. Welcome back. After more than a week of intense police and SES searches, an 83-year-old missing man has been found safe and well near Cleve. Police had serious concerns for his welfare, as Mark Zita reports.
After 8 days, an 83-year-old man who went missing near Cleve was found safe and well by police at a property yesterday afternoon. The man was initially reported missing last Saturday night after he wandered off from his home address. The next day, a search was undertaken throughout the township of Cleve, south of Whyalla. Local officers, the Mounted Operations Unit, State Emergency Service volunteers and Pol Air all involved in the search, continuing throughout the week and right up to yesterday afternoon. Finally, the 83-year-old man was found alive by the search party at around 5 p.m. at a property several kilometres east of Cleve. He was taken to Cleve Hospital with severe dehydration and sunburn and was later airlifted to Adelaide for further treatment. Police initially held grave concerns for the man's welfare as he suffers from a medical condition which could easily make him disorientated.
A Port Pirie man has been arrested following an alleged assault at Risdon Park South. Just before 1:30 Saturday morning, police were called to a caravan park on 3 Chain Road after reports a man had been allegedly stabbed. Police say a 56-year-old local man received a single stab wound to his groin and was taken to Port Pirie Hospital. He was then transferred to the Royal Adelaide Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A 26-year-old local man was arrested at the scene. He's been charged with assault causing harm and was refused police bail. Kadina Police is investigating a vandal attack at the car wash in town. At around 4 a.m. on Saturday, 2 men were captured on CCTV damaging a vending machine at a car wash on Taylor Street. Investigations are continuing. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. Meanwhile, Kadina Police has arrested a man and recovered a mobility scooter after it was allegedly stolen earlier this month. Sometime between 8 p.m. on October 2 and 1:40 p.m. the next day, a red Gopher scooter was allegedly taken from a hotel on John Terrace. Acting on information from the public, Kadina Police attended an address in Wallaroo and located the scooter. A 48-year-old Wallaroo man was arrested and charged with theft and unlawful possession and has been bailed to appear in the Kadina Magistrates Court next month. Students from around South Australia returned to school today for the last term of the schooling year, but the state's peak motoring body is urging drivers to correctly restrain their young passengers in an effort to reduce road trauma.
The start of a new term seeing an increase in vehicles on the state's roads. The RAA calling for drivers to be vigilant, especially in school zones.
Around schools, it's busy both in the morning and the afternoon, so please allow yourself plenty of time. Make sure you park safely and legally.
The call coming as latest SAPOL figures show 3,100 motorists were caught failing to properly restrain passengers under the age of 16. Charles Mountain saying booster seat use is important.
If your children are still using booster seats or child restraints, please ensure that they're appropriate to their age and size and they're correctly restrained as well.
The RAA reminding regional drivers the 25km speed limit is also observed when passing school buses.
Travelling on regional roads, just watch out for school buses because they'll be doing their pick up and drop off on the highways and byways around our regional areas.
Term 4 also seeing more learner drivers travelling to and from school. Mr Mountain also urging motorists to look out for provisional drivers who may be driving solo for the first time.
Mindful of those people around the school and perhaps give them a little bit of extra space as they build up their skills operating near schools.
Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Wireless Secondary College on track to be completed by the end of term, and Clare Oval to receive a funding boost for redevelopment works. Hello again. The state government has announced Whyala's newest education facility is on track for completion this term. Whyala Secondary College will welcome its first intake of students in term 1 of the next school year. In a statement, Education Minister John Gardner says local families are excited for the school, which will provide outstanding learning environments for generations to come. He also thanked teachers and students for their hard work this year. Clare Oval is one of 10 projects in the electorate of Grey to receive a much-needed cash boost. It comes as part of the latest round of the federal government's Building Better Regions Fund.
A cash injection set to provide better facilities across the region. The Clare Sports Precinct set to receive $2.5 million towards the construction of a new purpose-built sporting facility.
I think it breeds that enthusiasm for sport in the region, so that's what it's about.
Including resurfacing the oval and upgrading the lighting system.
The intention is to have a first-class oval of AFL standard and AFL lighting.
It's one of 10 projects in Grey set to see flow-on effects across the region, thanks to round 5 of the Building Better Regions Fund. The federal government committing almost $300 million, supporting 295 projects across regional Australia, creating an estimated 9,900 jobs throughout the course of the projects. Member for Grey, Rowan Ramsey, says the federal government is backing these projects so local people have facilities for the future while creating jobs to boost our economic recovery.
In this particular case, we all get the whole job done at one shot and we'll have first-class facility at Clare for the next generation or two.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Meanwhile, key projects across the Lower Eyre Peninsula have also been included in this latest round of the Building Better Regions Fund. Projects in Port Lincoln and Coffin Bay are under round 5, boosting facilities in the region.
The federal government pledging funding for the Lower Eyre Peninsula.
I think it's a reflection of the diversity of Grey, the great opportunities that exist within, the passionate communities that sit within Grey.
More than $600,000 committed for the Coffin Bay tourism project, seeing the Coffin Bay Yacht Club's jetty replaced with a state-of-the-art modern pontoon facility to accommodate up to 20 vessels.
It's going to be really wonderful, I think, for the community because there's no alternative really for public jetties of this kind in Coffin Bay.
The upgrade helping local tourism operators expand their offerings.
Some certainty, I suppose, to those charter operators that they have some infrastructure facilities that they can expand and grow their business.
The member for Grey saying it's about attracting and retaining people to the regions.
You've not only got to generate the jobs, you've got to provide communities which are livable.
$20,000 also committed to Port Lincoln's economic development and investment attraction strategy. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Preparations are well underway for a major charity fundraiser in Clare next weekend. Ride for a Brighter Side, partnering with the Kate McDonald Foundation, helping to break the stigma around mental health and provide more options for support.
The wheels are in motion, riding for a brighter future with support for mental health.
We're going to keep the wheels spinning for 12 hours in raising money for the Cade MacDonald Foundation.
21 teams with more than 200 riders taking part in the Ride for a Brighter Side fundraiser next weekend. They'll be riding stationary bikes for 12 hours, aiming to raise funds and awareness for the Cade MacDonald Foundation. For Cade's grandmother Jeannie, it's something she holds close to her heart.
Cade is our eldest grandson, and he took his own life on the 16th of October 2018. And it still affects us all.
It's hoped the event will break down the stigma around mental health while raising funds to provide options for better support, including mental health first aid courses.
We're hoping to get some medical help in at the local high school here, because there's been a lot of young people who have really been struggling with their mental health, so that's something that we feel is really important to do.
Safe places where kids can go to talk. They become aware that there are social workers, psychologists and support and counsellors that they can go to speak with each other.
They say the support from the community has been overwhelming.
Absolutely overwhelmed with the sponsorship that we've had. Our goal is to raise $30,000 for the once we are finished here, and we're sort of, not far off that mark at the moment.
The event will kick off at 7 a.m. on October 24, with live entertainment throughout the ride, and there will even be support officers available for a chat.
Love for everyone to come along on the day and support the ride. It'd be good to see everybody.
If you or someone you know needs help, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. A green-thumbed Port Augusta group celebrates Gardening Week, and we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. A series of community events are being held in Port Augusta to celebrate National Gardening Week. Garden shows, guided town tours and special guest speakers, hoping to inspire the next generation of gardeners.
Sowing the seeds to grow a fun and welcoming community. The Garden Club has a long history in Port Augusta, hoping a week filled with interesting events can motivate more members to join.
I love the Garden Club and I hope we can continue. We've been going for 44 years and hopefully we can get to 50.
The club's calendar of events kicking off this weekend with a garden showcase at the club rooms. The event displaying non-competitive exhibits by members and friends of the club. Some plants and clippings also up for sale or available for trade.
I like the social side of it because I meet people here that I never met during my working life. So I've met lots of lovely people through gardens.
The Garden Club also offering town garden tours with guide Shirley throughout October. Guest speaker Hannah Ling also attending the group's next meeting to speak about environmental issues affecting the region. The club says anyone interested in joining should attend their club meeting on Wednesday, October 20.
We always like to have more members because just recently we seem to have been down a bit on numbers, and we've already attracted a couple because of this weekend.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, Ruby, and happy Monday, everyone. A beautiful start for the kids returning for Term 4 today, with mainly fine conditions across the Gulf. At 3 p.m, Port Augusta was sunny and 20 degrees. Port Lincoln was partly cloudy in 16, and Port Pirie was 19. Looking further out across the region now, Whyalla, Kadina and Cleve were all 16. Broken Hill and Adelaide were both partly cloudy and 17. Woodner and Cooper Pedy were 20 degrees. Clare was 14. Taking a look at the satellite image now, thick cloud over the far northeast with a nearby trough is causing the odd lingering shower. Patchy cloud over the southeast in onshore winds is causing the odd light shower. High cloud ahead of a trough in the west is not causing any rain. Clear skies elsewhere with a ridge. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. East to southeasterly Southerly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas 1 to 2 metres, and south to southwesterly swell 1 to 2 metres. Port Lincoln with a shower or two and a top of 24 degrees. Cleve mostly sunny and 27. Woodner with a top of 29. Whyalla and Port Augusta mostly sunny, both to reach 27. Kadina will get to 24. Port Pirie will get to a high of 26 degrees. Clare mostly sunny and set to reach 21 there. And Broken Hill will be sunny and 22. Taking a look further through the week now with showers across most of the region. Port Augusta and Whyalla will have a shower or two and 21 on Wednesday. Port Pirie 20 with showers, 17 degrees in Port Lincoln, Woodner and Adelaide. To Thursday, and the rains are here to stay with some cooler temperatures. Port Pirie and Woodner to reach 18 degrees. Port Lincoln will get to a high of 17. And Port Augusta will be partly cloudy on Friday, as well as Woodner, Whyalla and Broken Hill. A shower or two in Port Lincoln, Port Pirie and Kadina. Cooper Pedy will be sunny and 23, and our friends in Adelaide will have showers and 17. So get the umbrella out over the next couple of days, Ruby, and that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Wonderful, thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.